Yay! I believe I'm live. Let me see that the sound and everything works. So, hello, beautiful people. I am a little bit late tonight. Apologize for that. We have spent whole day with. We have collected some flies along the way. We have spent whole day with Ule Christian walking rich walk, which was absolutely amazing. I have also had a massage, so I feel really good. But everything took a little bit more time. So apologize again that we started a bit later, but I'm here and I cannot wait to share this time with you. And I'm curious about questions you have for me. I have cookies for you. I have some gluten-free chocolate cookies and taking in water. The plan was to have a cup of cocoa, but I didn't have time for that. So cocoa will be after. Yeah. So basically, let me introduce the concept. This space is an open space for you, for the questions you might have for me, and it can be absolutely anything. You can ask about Bali, you can ask about my job, you can ask about what I like and do not like. You choose. if I will if there will be some question which I will find out that, oh, this is too much, then I will just say, okay, I'm not gonna answer this. But I'm pretty open and honest person, so you can ask anything. Awesome. So let me put the music a little bit down so we can hear each other. And yeah, the space is yours. So please put your question into the comments so I can see them. I don't know how to open these, so let me see. I will see how I can find the comments. This is funny. So yeah, I see the comment from Roxana. Hello dear, hi. Then I know it works. Hi Roxana dear, how are you? I know it's late for you, so good evening to Australia. And yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, then now is the time to ask. So, Roxane, do you want to start? I know she's still live. Are you there, dear? Are you there? I don't know. Okay, so let me ask some question myself. I'll start with that, and then whoever tunes in, then please just ask anything you might be wondering. So, how is the situation? Okay, tell me how it happened that you appeared in Norway from Czechoslovakia. Aha, that's a good question. It's very similar like with Bali. It was basically a choice of my soul. I didn't really know why I chose Norway. I just always had this big attraction to Scandinavia, to Scandinavian countries, and in that time I was together with one beautiful guy, and I really wanted to have a family, and unfortunately he didn't want to, or yeah, life wants different paths, so he didn't want to. We broke up, and he told me, because he was much older than me, if I would be young at this time, I would travel abroad. I would just, move abroad and travel and study and try different things. And at that time, I was 25. I had a very successful position in the organization where I was living, but I was working like 16 hours a day, a lot. I didn't really have much life outside of the office. And it kind of hit me when I was thinking like, okay, I'm young. I used to have chronic pain in my back because of so many hours in the office. And I was thinking, either I'm gonna kill myself here or I'm gonna choose a different path. And I chose a different path. So I found a program in Norway. At that time, I was having 100% full-time job in the office as a leader of fundraising, marketing, and promotion in a non-governmental organization. And I was also studying full-time. I don't know how I did it. I was also studying full-time activities in nature. and recreology, pedagogy of free time activities. And through that, I was offered an opportunity to study abroad through an Erasmus program, go abroad and study abroad. So I choose to do so, and I choose Norway. I choose one program. I was the first student on that program. I basically fell in love. I was like, this is it, I'm gonna do this. And I connected my university with the Norwegian one. And the program was called Outdoor Life, Culture and Eco-Philosophy. So there was a combination of activities in nature and philosophy around sustainability and the Norwegian culture and language. It was amazing. So I basically chose that program. We were 7 people on the same space, on the same spot. And they asked me, what if you will not be able to get into that program? I was like, I don't care. This is the thing I'm gonna do. And if I will not be able to, let me just get over the advertising. If I will not be able to do that, then it's not meant to be. So I choose this one program, and from 7 people I won. I was the first one. So I won, and I packed all my stuff. I left everything I had in Czech Republic, sold everything, left my job, left my friends, hobbies, you name it, and went to Norway. And just said to people, I'm moving to Norway. And I was traveling, guys, in Skoda Favorit. If you do not know that, at that time I was 25 and Skoda Favorit was 27. It was a crazy old car, and I just jumped into that, packed all my stuff and left, and just told people, I'm moving to Norway, and people were like, you are crazy. So I went for a 1-year study program, and yeah, stayed for 10 years. Sounds like Bali. Came for 3 months, stayed almost 2 years now, so we will see how long we will be here. So yeah. So there was to the question about Norway, how I came to Norway from Czech Republic. My soul calling and studies. That was a long answer. Why 10 years? Hi Neha. Why 10 years? I don't know. It's a good question. What did I did there? Okay, oh my gosh, that was so much. So I came to Norway as an outdoor life student. I came to Norway as an outdoor life student, and I completely fell in love with the nature. I completely fell in love with the culture, with the mentality of people, and I came. We'll explain later. I came back to Czech Republic after finishing the first year of my studies in Norway, came back to Czech Republic, spent there about half a year, and I just never kind of felt like I fit back again, so I couldn't live in Czech anymore, so I moved back to Norway with all kinds of different visions, with no money, no support, no job, just knowing like I need to do this, I just need to be here. And it was a very, very, very special journey. So I was studying first outdoor life, then I was studying dance therapy. So I'm actually educated dance therapist. After that, I was working in kindergarten. I was working as a social worker. I was working as an assistant in schools. I was working as on farm, picking up apples and berries, cleaning toilets, cleaning houses, all kind of jobs I could get basically. And also I became pregnant, I became mom, and since I became pregnant, I actually was sick for 3 years. You guys wouldn't believe it. In Norway there is an incredible system for like long-term sickness. So when I got pregnant, I got PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, as a result of my upbringing with a lot of violence. So I was in an intensive treatment for 3 years with all kinds of different therapies, and basically spent 3 years of my life getting to where I am today, to being thriving, happy, healthy, amazing human being. So this is why 10 years. Yeah, different blend of all kinds of different things. About the weather, by the way, guys who just jumped on now, This is a space for you to ask me anything. So I have a cake for you here. I have a Kangen water. Next time I'm gonna have a cocoa for you. And you can ask me any questions. We have about, let me see, maybe like 10 more minutes. So ask me anything. Thank you, Roxana, you too. Weather. Okay, so the next question is, how about the weather in Norway? It's freezing cold, believe it or not. There are 4 seasons, in fact. There are 4 seasons, but very many people who have like jokes around Norway, they very often say that there is a green winter and the white winter, which means that the white winter is the one with the snow, you know, the proper winter, and there is the green winter, which is everything else. So basically, how is the weather? It looks like something like this. Beginning of October, so about this time we have now, it can already start to snow, and the morning temperature is about 5 to 7 degrees. During the day, it's usually a little bit warmer, like 10, 12, depends. And then it goes very quickly down. So then already like November is like 3 degrees, -5, -7, and then it goes down into -10, -12, -14, and so on. And you notice a big, like you get used to it, you have to move a lot. So Norwegian people, they either stay inside and they sit in front of their stove and heat themselves up because it's really cold, or you wanna go outside if you are a person like me and you love outdoors, and there are many of these people in Norway, and you basically keep up the pace, you keep moving, because otherwise you get really, really cold. You notice the biggest difference between -12 to -17, then it starts to really shift, because when it turns like -14, -15, when you breathe in like this, your nose does like this. So when you breathe in, your nose freezes in, and then you feel like you cannot breathe for a little second, and then it leaves again. You take another breath, and it does the same thing, and it's horrible. And also like here, you know, all your eyebrows, and if you have a little bit hair here, and you know, these vibes, they get like covered by the ice. So when you come home, you can like knick your hair. Oh, the winter is crazy, but it's also so beautiful. It's so beautiful because, you know, there is this super contrast between huge darkness in the like darkest period, which is probably like November, December, January, February, March, so about 5 months. The sun comes up around 9:30, 9:45 in the morning, and it goes down about 15:30. So we have about 6 hours of daylight, not sun, but the daylight. It might be like, I'll just turn camera around. What you can see now, this is like our there. This is our evening, okay? This can be a normal day situation in Norway. When you are unlucky enough and the sun is not coming that day, so it can be like daylight, 6 hours of dark daylight, and then the sun or daylight goes down again 15:30, and from 15:30 to 9:30 in the morning it's a complete darkness, like 100% darkness. But what I also love, you know, we were living on a farm, and like this, when it's silent and you have this like cracking wood in the evening and the heat from the stove, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And everywhere in front of the shops, especially towards Christmas, they light these big lights. They're like huge candles, and they make fire which is high like this. So it's basically completely dark, and then inside the city you have all these like small fires all around, and you see through the windows that people are, you know, gathering, sitting in front of the fire. It's beautiful. But it's also the time when it's very easy to get very isolated. So that's the winter. And then you have the other part, I'll just mention it shortly. Then you have approximately like in the middle of April, it starts to be spring, so it's still very often freezing in the morning. You will still have like 2-3 degrees in the morning towards the middle of the May, but during the day it can already be like 13, 14, 15. And the amazing thing what we do in Norway, it's called sunbathing. basically what you do, you go out the first moment when it really, you know, the proper sun comes and you start to feel like heat coming into your body. It's so funny, like everybody goes out in front of their house, they stand like this, you know, in front of their houses and just basically watch the sun. It's like sun gazing. You know, people are standing outside, they watch the sun and they just feel like the body is opening up and melting and feeling amazing. So this is like the period between April and May, and then from the middle of the May approximately until middle of August. So May to September, May to June, June to July, July to August. So about like 3.5 months, we have the midnight sun, which means that there is no darkness almost. If you are up in north, there is no darkness at all, and down in south there is about 2 hours. So then, you know, the sun is up like whole day, entire day. So normally I would sleep about 4.5 hours during this period, and then I would sleep around 12 to 13 during the winter period. So there's this huge enormous contrast, and you see it both in the nature and also in the culture and how people are behaving. So from May to September, it's so busy. Like everybody's out there, you know, and people are connecting, and people are finally like seeing each other, you know. So people just like hug each other, and there are events. Now you will hear our beautiful evening orchestra, Balinese evening orchestra. It's all these cicadas are coming. So yeah, so the summer in Norway is like super hectic, you know. People are hugging each other, and there are concerts and festivals and stuff, and it's just like super intense until the end of September, where like everything goes to the silence and everything goes back to sleep, and it goes like this, so like cycles. Super interesting. Wow. Can you hear the, let me turn that camera around, I will just show you in a second. This is so nice, guys. This is one of the reasons why we are in Bali. I just love this. So this is our evening orchestra. Okay. Looks like this. How cool is that? Amazing, isn't it? Exactly, cicadas, Roxana. I love them. We have an entire jungle just beside the house, as you can see, and we just so much enjoy the sound. Okay, let's go in. So I always call this our evening orchestra because they always come around this time, and we just normally sit and listen to them. So yeah, let me go back in. It's a lot of mosquitoes around this time, so you don't want to be outside much. Okay, guys. So what was the next question? Why did I choose Bali? Oh my gosh. Bali chose me, like Norway. I don't really know. You know, again, like soul calling, I just simply knew that I need to be here. And, you know, at that point, after many challenging things in Norway, you know, living 5 years in a relationship which was painful for me. Nothing wrong with my son's dad. He's a beautiful human being, but we simply didn't match, and it was painful for both of us. So after these years, my soul was broken, and I knew that I needed to go somewhere where I can heal. And I just felt that if I'm gonna go somewhere and heal, it's going to be Bali. And Bali is special. Bali is super special. Like the energy of this island is just uplifting and high vibing and healing and so beautiful. So I didn't choose Bali, Bali chose me. Hi Eva! So nice to see you. So yeah, so basically I just knew that for some reason I need to be here, and I came to Bali, let me think, 2 years ago. No, now it's 2 years they are here, so it's 3 years ago. About 3 years ago, I came here to study mindfulness because I am, guys, now you will see our big mosquitoes. I am, guys, yoga and mindfulness therapist. So I came here to study mindfulness because at that time I was doing this program in Norway, becoming yoga and mindfulness therapist. And many people have been to Bali and they were simply loving it. And Bali is this, like, mecca of spirituality, mecca of yoga, mecca of raw food, especially Ubud where we live. So I wanted to come here. Then I became a raw foodist. And when I became raw foodist, you can imagine how is it being a raw foodist on tropical fruit living in Norway. Not sustainable at all. Nothing is ripe, so it's not healthy either. And it just simply didn't work out. But I knew that my body needs that. There is no way how I can get around it. That this was the path I have chosen for a long time ago. So I came in 2019, I believe. I came on my own because I've never been outside of Europe. And I had so many thoughts about how Asia is crazy and dangerous and you name it. It was completely wrong, but that's okay. So I came here to basically see how it is. And the moment I landed on the airport in Bali, I was at home. It was so special. Like, I landed on the airport here, and I just see where do I live in Bali? Let's see. I live right now. We live in Ubud, a little bit outside of Ubud, which is central rural village, can you say, and also a spiritual center in Bali and spiritual center in Asia, where there are a lot of raw foodists, a lot of people working with yoga, a lot of people working with healing, massage, and also tons and tons of artists. So Ubud is surrounded by many villages, and there is one village where they specialize for making silver, another village where they specialize for bamboo, another village where they specialize on making wood, carving wood, another for painting. It's really beautiful. It's this, like, supportive, creative container of people who are thinking outside the box and see possibilities where others see just obstacles. You can say. So yeah, so the story with Bali. So basically I landed on the airport. It was so funny. I remember two things which really, like, stick into me. One thing was when I left from the airport. I left the airport in Norway, with tons of clothes on, woolen clothes, and really, like, thick. Then we landed in Qatar. There was, like, in between landings. So we landed in Qatar, and when we came to Qatar, we went out of the airplane, and people told us, "Oh, it's raining. Just be ready. It's raining." And I thought, like, come on, I'm coming from Norway. Like, whatever, like, can fall. Snow, I don't care. And I remember we came out and it was just like hot rain. Oh my gosh, it felt like a shower. It was just so amazing. And this was, guys, in May. So I left Norway, it was about, like, it was still this, winter, spring period. So it was probably like 5-6 degrees. Then I came to Qatar where it was this, like, 25 rain, hot shower, amazing thing. And then we landed on Bali, and it was so hot. You wouldn't believe how hot it was. It was still the end of the rainy season, so very humid, very hot. It was like 35 degrees and humid. And I came in the woolen clothes from Norway, right? Because otherwise I would freeze to hell. It was just so crazy. Oh my gosh. And I came to the airport, and at that time, prior to the pandemic, it was completely different than what we are experiencing today. Like, millions of tourists, millions of drivers, all the shops, everything open. And there was this Balinese music. I will play some for you later on. It's called gamelan music. It's such a nice, like, instrument made from wood, and you just play with the sticks on it, and it makes, like, this, like, kind of feels like mantra repeating sound. And this was the thing, the first thing, which was just basically radiating through the entire airport. And then they had these beautiful lanterns which looked a little bit like, like this Asian, Japanese Zen style, with this, like, lanterns with decent light. It was a completely different experience than, landing in Europe. And I've never seen anything like that. And I was just like, wow, I'm at home. You know, and from the first moment I was just walking around and thinking like, oh my gosh, this is just absolutely, absolutely, absolutely amazing, because so many things I used to do in my life which were absolutely natural for me were completely strange to do in the settings where I was. Like, I was always sitting on the floor, and everybody was like, why do you sit on the floor? I always love to eat with my hands. And everybody's like, why can't you just use a fork and spoon? Or sit on the floor and eat with my hands, you know, combination of everything. I never liked to have a bed. I always liked to have a mattress on the floor and just sleep on the mattress on the floor. And so many things where like people were like, she's just weird, you know. And I was thinking, I'm not weird, like you are weird. You know, like when you do something, you just know from the bottom of your heart that it's the correct thing to do. There is no other way than to do it, right? And I was so much judged on so many different settings because of that. And when I came here, suddenly we were so many, you know, like I could stop in the middle of the street and I could start to do my yoga practice in the middle of the street. I went to a cafe and people were talking about alignment, about self-development, about growth, about consciousness, about sustainability. I went to the food. Oh my gosh! I went to the first restaurant, and everything was vegan. It's definitely not. Just don't take me wrong. Balinese people do not eat vegan. And the moment you step outside of bule white person restaurants, you will not find like raw food vegan menu, but people eat tons of tofu, tempeh, beans, peanut sauce. All kind of steamed veggies, so it's always super, super, super easy. No matter where you go, you always find a vegan version, which was just like, oh, and it's super cheap, you know, compared to Norway. It's super cheap, it's super fresh. Like, I love these small places where you just come and there is this little lady who basically just has her house, you know, behind. It's like, here if I would just in front of the house, I would put a table, and on that table, I would put the pancakes I just made, and I would put like 5,000 for pancakes, and everybody who is passing by, they can just buy pancakes from me. This is a very usual thing here. So you come, and very often they sell one dish which I really like, which is called gado gado. It's a dumpling from rice, so it's basically rice cooked with a tons of water until it becomes this very like soft dumpling-like thing. Then they cut it into small pieces, and they blend it together with peanut sauce, which is just peanuts and onion and some like basic water and stuff, and chili, or without chili if you don't like, and sprouts, all kind of fresh vegetables, tofu and tempeh. So delicious. Oh yeah, gado gado, Lucy, I get you. Oh my gosh, I could eat that every day. Like, people are laughing of me, you know, all these, because a lot of my expat friends, they would eat like Western food. I never been a really fan of Western food, so for me, I just feel like this matches me so much more. So I would always go for gado gado. We actually had one today. No day for me without gado gado. So no, so there are just so many things which are so much simple, and that was so interesting, both on Lombok and also here in the local villages. I just feel like we have the same mentality. You know, like for example, being a mother, that was so funny because on Lombok, we were living 1 year on Lombok. So we were living 3 months on 3 weeks on Bali, then 1 year on Lombok, and now since February on Bali again. And on Lombok, not so many people spoke English, so very many people spoke Bahasa Indonesia, which I have learned little by little. I do not speak much, but I speak some basic, I get around. And, you know, I was living in a family complex. For the first 4 months, we were living in a family complex. So we had like 1, 2, 3 families, local families with, you know, whole generations of people. And then us in between. It was very intense experience, and I'm super grateful that we did it, because I learned so much on that, and my son learned so much on that. We had 7 kids together, and all the uncles and grandmothers and grandfathers and you name it. It was very, very special, and they were welcoming us just like at home. It was absolutely amazing. And what I have learned from that experience was that we are thinking very similar way. You know, I didn't have the language to express, but if I, you know, they would come to my house and my son would spill something somewhere, people would just go and grab the broom or grab the towel and clean it up without, you know, asking, observing anything. They would kind of like, we would do the same movement. Look at Stiana. It's Augustina in the background. I get a little bit stressed by that. So, so basically people would, you know, people would do the same type of behavior which I was used to from Europe, from Czech Republic, which was very different compared to what I have experienced in Norway. In Norway, I very often felt I didn't have the culture code, kind of didn't know how to behave. And that's because Norway is very much oriented towards America, while Czech Republic is very much oriented towards East Europe, you know, Ukraine, Croatia, Russia and all these countries, and here it's also, you know, here it's a very poor country in a way, even though because of tourism it's of course very different. But I felt like we had the same type of, you know, community connection, the same type of understanding of being dependent on each other, the same type of behavior in motherhood, and that was just beautiful. So yeah, so I felt from the first moment I felt very much at home here. And the local people, if you guys have been on Bali or if you have been in Indonesia, the local people, they are just so sweet. Like, I'm thinking about it every day, every day. There are so many expats who are just so ungrateful, and it always kills me when I experience that. You know, some people come here and they think that because they have money, they will buy anything in the world, and that's not really that way. I am sure you understand. So I always try to treat people with respect and love, and how I would love to be treated myself. No matter that I'm not always satisfied, you know, certain things are just not working here at all, but I always try to show compassion and respect. So every day I kiss the ground here and I'm thinking, thank you that I'm allowed to put my feet on this ground, because I'm not Balinese and I could be kicked off, and I'm not. I'm welcome with the open arms like this. People, every time I go somewhere, people ask, where are you going, and how is your son? Is your son at school, and are you coming in the afternoon? You know, people have open door. Like, there is nothing like, oh, this is my space, get off. You know, it's just like, this is my space and come and enjoy, let's have fun together. And this is the main reason why we choose to stay here during the pandemic. It was a very, you can just nobody asked, but maybe you guys are wondering about why did I choose to stay here instead of going to Europe for the pandemic, because of course it was a very challenging choice and I didn't know what am I going into, right? It could go completely wrong. Thanks God it didn't. But I just felt like, you know what, if I'm gonna, if like whole world goes under and this pandemic is gonna be absolutely insane, I wanna be somewhere where it's warm, people will take care of me and I will take care of them, and there's a sense of community and I can grow my own food. And this is why we are here. Okay, we are very much above, but I hope you guys enjoy it. So let me see if there were any more questions, and then I give it 5 more minutes and we will close up. So Roxana, you asked something. Wolves, bears, rabbits. What was that question about? Can you precise it? Was it about Norway, if there were wolves, bears and rabbits? Or there were 2 rabbits which we had at home. We had 2 rabbits which were called Haisan and Hopsan. They died this year, but Ula's father took care of them until now, which I really appreciate. So they had a great life for many years. We had them about 6 years probably. Bears, yes, there are some in north, but people are stupid, so they killed them. So there are not many left. There are some in Sweden. They are trying to cross the border, but yeah, there's a protection, big protection on both bears and wolves, because some people, yeah, you know, got scared because they were eating their sheep and so on. So many of them got killed, which was not necessary. So yeah, if it was question about these animals in Norway, then yes, I didn't see them personally. My big dream is actually to see a wolf, white wolf. I feel very strong connection to that animal. So I am like wolves. You know, I'm a very like powerful person, very strong and very community sense. In the same time, very strong on my own, like wolves are. So I would love to see wolf. If you guys have seen wolf, please let me know where I can see them. I would love to. There is, by the way, one national park in Norway where you can go and you can see wolves, you can see bear, and you can see how is it called? Moose. These, you know, huge animal. I have seen that one. I've seen that one once, but mother, huge one from like 10 meters above, 5 meters above maybe. It was incredible. They are huge, like 4 horses on top of each other. Very special. Yeah, okay. Are there any more questions? So please, if there are those who jumped on later, this is a space for you to ask me anything. I thought I would keep it like 15 to 20 minutes, but I see there was a lot of interest, so I might keep it longer if you guys enjoy. But I would love to keep it under 1 hour. So if there are any questions you would love to ask me, then the space is now. By the way, I made a cookie for you. Delicious chocolate cookie, gluten-free, sugar-free. And king and water. Next time I'm gonna make a coffee and cocoa. So it's a bit late today. So yeah, are there any more questions? If so, throw them in now. And otherwise, please give me your feedback. How did you enjoy this? I'm so happy that you tuned in. I really love to have engagement with people. So it's very special to be able to do it through the social media. And I'm really grateful that you came here. And I would love to hear from you. How did you enjoy it? How did you enjoy it? If you have learned something about me or something else or yourself, if so, then I've succeeded with what I wanted to create. So, one last question. Call for one last question. And if there is no question, then I will sing for you because I love to sing. So, let me see. I will sing you a Czech song, I know. Okay, cool. So I will give you 10 seconds for the question. And if there is no more question, then I will just prepare the song so I remember all the words. And I will sing a Czech song for you. Okay. If you didn't know, I love to sing. I have been singing since I was 5, so around Ule Christian's age. He's actually a very good singer as well. So that's very beautiful. And one of my dreams is to be singing on Britain's Got the Talent. Not to win the competition, I don't care, but because I really enjoy to share my voice with the world, and I believe that it's needed to be heard. So this is why. Okay. So, no more questions. Okay, then I jump on the song. I tried to open it, but my computer is ignoring me. That's okay. I will remember what I remember. Okay. Are you guys ready? So, those who are tuning in for the last minute, we are doing a song at the end because I love to sing and I love to share it with you. And it's called Holka od koní, which means the horse girl in Czech Republic, and it's basically a song about love and horses and life. So, let me put it like this. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Create some space. Beautiful. Pro vlasy rozsukaný z naivních snů, svobodu větru ve vlásku. Možná jsem zapomněla něco ti říct, a najednou je pozdě. Pro lásku koní, krásu všedních dní, na kontě máš zase jeden hřích. Pozdě se omlouvat, že ublížit nechci ani jednomu z nás. A jak ty bláznivý koně, chci dohonit slunce, když zapadá. Písničku kolejí, který se tam někde v dálce snad setkají. Chci tiše zpívat a hrát jenom pro ně, než prach na ní napadá. A zapomenout, že se ještě někdy rozední. Kolem hlavy mám zlatozářálky od koní, když za zavírám oči a doufám, že předhoním aspoň kousek čas. Dráhy čarosudu odkloním a příště, až se probudím, možná to budu zase já, tak jako dřív. Yeah, so that was a little bit music from me. Ulrike-Christian, come, do you want to sing for us as well? Ulrike-Christian is amazing in singing. Come, can you sing a song for us? Jo? Tak jsem vlastně, tak se tam sedni, tak. A můžeš zpívat, jo? Cokoliv. Thank you, amazing. He's tired. We have been working whole day. We walked about 7 kilometers today, so well done. Okay, guys, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please put into the comments what you have enjoyed, what was your biggest takeaway from this time together, and tune in next Friday because I want to do these now towards my birthday. So the same time, I will be on time, 6 o'clock, our funny Vita. I don't even know what it stands for, Central Indonesian time. 6 o'clock in the afternoon, which I believe is around 12 or 11 soon in Europe. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next Friday, if not before. Okay, have a beautiful afternoon. Bye. Thank you. And put your biggest takeaway into the comments so I know that you have learned something and that it was useful. Love you. Mwah. Ciao.